It's beautiful out here. This is when people talk about winter wonderland, what things look like in the movies, right? You can see I've got a Bills hat on. We're in Bills country. Not quite in Buffalo, but we're definitely in snow country. It's Rochester, New York. I'm Mike Naparella from Peak Performance Physical Therapy and Sports Training. You know, whether you're a winter enthusiast and you love this because you know you're going out cross-country skiing or hitting the ski slopes today or snowmobiling, or whether you wish you were down south in the Carolinas right now, you know what the truth is, either way you got to deal with this. And before you can go anywhere, you got to shovel your driveway. So for those of you who have snow blowers, you have a pass on this video. But for those of you who've got to use shovels, I think you better watch this. We're going to do a little reprise and an advancement of the video that we showed last month in our newsletter and add a little bit to this to help you guys out there who've got a shovel today and this week get rid of this white stuff. Try to be as safe as you can while you do it. So, you know, people talk about using your legs and not using your arms and your back too much when you're shoveling, but what does that mean? Well, I think the thing you need to understand is that to use your legs means that you're trying to get yourself down closer to the ground so you're not rounding your low back and bending over to lift, which is what we see oftentimes in the clinic when someone hurts their back. That's what they've done. So to use your legs means that you're going to get into this athletic, squatty sort of position. Now for some people that's really easy and it's automatic, but for other people they really struggle with that. One of the reasons is that they have a lot of tightness in their back of their butt and their hamstrings. And so before you go out, I would just recommend that you do a very quick, could be on the step in your house, could be on a little box, could be even just on the ground, where you get your foot out in front of you, keep your back very flat, stick your butt out, feel that hamstring stretching, and you might hold that for 20 seconds or so. We'll do each leg, ideally a few times. I'm just going to show you once on each leg right now. And that would be a way to help get that hamstring ready. You do that a few times. And then it would be wise just to remind yourself when you bend down, you can put your hand on the small of your back, or you can put your hand on your pelvis and practice bending down and squatting, but sticking your butt out. So often when people use their legs to bend down, they're rounding their back. So when you do this, we're going to bend in this low position, getting yourself close to the ground, and by putting your hand closer to the bottom of the shovel, your legs can lift up that snow. Now when there's very light snow, I actually love the two shovel technique. And the two shovel technique just lets me push the snow and not do unnecessary bending, keeps me upright. So if you're using the two shovel technique, you can push a lot of that snow to the side, and then only at the end have to lift that snow. So I would recommend, again, getting down in a squatty position where you're sticking your butt out with your back flat, your core is snugged up, your hand's a little bit lower on the shovel, so now my arms aren't going to lift this shovel of snow, but my legs do. Then I can rock and toss it a little bit. Now the other thing I would recommend, just in terms of minimizing injury, a lot of times people use their same arm every time, and whatever hand they are, they tend to stay on that same hand. You might want to do something like switch hands. So every 10 times I work my left hand on the high side, I can switch and use my right hand. And then when you're done, because you've been doing things that are bending over, and there's a chance that you've been rounding your back a bit, I certainly would recommend you can reverse that motion, finish off with a few backward bends, loosening up the fronts of your hips, but especially your spine, as it's been bending over repeatedly. And most often when people hurt their back with shoveling, it's because they've been bending over too much. So that's just a few tips on how to keep yourself safe when you're shoveling. This is Mike Naparella with Peak Performance Physical Therapy and Sports Training in Rochester, New York. If you've got back pain from shoveling, give us a call this week. We're at 218-0240 and we'll try and help you with your problem. Have a great day.